Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
Hezbollah, star power here in Abu Dhabi.
Cheers, guys.
Sick and old, it's there for you. Because I heard people say, well, I don't want to buy into Medicare.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
You're getting emotional, Tony.
That's because I know what it's like to lose a pet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alternative Jargon episode number 62. I just started recording and I just realized I lost my fidget toy for the episode. Let's retrieve that. Give me a second. How unprofessional of me. This would not fly in corporate. My fidget toy is the Fisher Space Pen Bullet Edition. No hooky bob, just the pen. Look at that. You could shoot somebody on the middle of Fifth Avenue with this, and you wouldn't lose any voters. Anyway, welcome to 62, guys. It's good to be back. Today we are going to discuss older brother core. This is a trend that I've seen online, and as much as I make fun of my own generation, Gen Z, for inventing terms, they often do hit home. Maybe it's because I'm part of the generation. Duh, I get it. I know. Okay, you can look into your camera right now and go, I know what you are. If you were born before 98 or after 08, you can look at your camera and go, I know what you are. Yeah, I am Gen Z, all right? I get it. But I'll be honest, a lot of the stuff that we invent does hit close to home, okay? And someday we're going to be just as insufferable as boomers, probably. We will probably be just as insufferable as boomers. We're going to find our own way to do it. It's not going to be through hoarding real estate and hoarding everything we own and complaining that the younger generation doesn't know how to work because they bought a car for $800 in the year 1972. We're going to find another way, because obviously that's not going to be our way. That's not really possible at this moment in time, but we're going to have our own thing that's just as bad. Every generation does. Boomers, like I said, they bought their house for $25,000 half a century ago, and now they sell it to BlackRock for $1 million. And there's a single mother of three that was offering them $800,000, and they said, that's what they do. That's what they said. They went, so that is kind of what the deal is with boomers. Gen X, that's kind of the new silent generation. No one really knows anything about Gen X. I feel like that's a less homogenous generation. Gen X is either like a divorced dad who was really into Creed and liked Miller Lite a little bit too much during his child's infancy. Or it's like, I don't know, a woman. It could be a man or a woman. Gen X. There you go. Millennials. We all know we all know millennials. Millennials, it's, everything is so random. I got roofied in 2011 in the basement of Sigma Chi, listening to Skrillex. It was so awesome. And now I really love coffee shops that are overpriced. And then there's Gen Z. Once again, I think Gen Z is very heterogeneous. God, why am I using biology terms today? I hated bio. Not very homogenous is Gen Z. We are, but we aren't. We are the first generation that has their own bubble. Everyone's in their bubble. And so that makes us all the same, but it makes us all different. But anyway, I'm straying from the point. Jeez. Older brother core is it's not new. It's been around for a while. But it's something I wanted to touch on for a while. Older brother core is a trend online where basically people, mostly males, although some girls as well, are really into this aesthetic of early to mid 2000s teenage boy vibes, okay? Playing on an Xbox, a white Xbox 360. They weren't even out with the black ones yet, okay? The Xboxes were still segregated. They were only white. A white 360 with the default mic, playing Call of Duty 4, cussing, using slurs in Xbox Live chat, riding skateboards, listening to Green Day, skipping school to smoke cigarettes and marijuana, painting your nails black, and I swear it's not a phase, Mom. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Taco Bell meal deal Guitar Hero style. That was like $2 back in the day. And smoking marijuana. That's kind of, that's older brother core. It's everything Gen Z did, but 10 years, 15 years earlier. It's the exact same stuff everyone in Gen Z did, but it just had a different texture pack on it. Not exactly the same, and I'll get to that, but I wanted to define in this episode what my definitions of older brother core are. My first definition, I'll run through the list here, okay? Older brother core is just old game consoles. Older brother core is just early 2000s punk music. Older brother core is looking like a school shooter, but never actually doing it. Older brother core is sharing private informations to strangers through internet forums that are completely unregulated. Older brother core is trying to access the dark web because Live Leak wasn't good enough. There wasn't enough gore. We've all seen the video of the guy getting run over by the tank by ISIS. What else is out there? What else you got? Older brother core is skateboarding. Older brother core is BMX bikes and being hated by your parents. And it's Rodrick Heffley. I think, look, I haven't seen too many movies. I have the movies I like, and I don't really watch much. God, I hate saying this. I sound so pretentious, but I try to entertain myself with books. I hate watching shows. I don't like watching movies unless it's in a theater or with other people or something I'm really interested in. And all of those three rarely happen. So strike three, you're out. Okay? That's kind of how it usually goes. But Rodrick Heffley might be the greatest cinema interpretation of older brother core that I've ever seen. First of all, he's an older brother. Okay, he checked the first box. And in today's world, that won't really help you on your job resume or your job application. But back in 2010, when that movie came out, yeah, checking the first box. Oh, you're hired. So we hired Rodrick as our older brother core ambassador. And he thrived. He started his own rock band. He disobeyed his parents. He threw parties while people weren't home. And guess what? Like the meme says, bro, Rodrick really got all the baddies to show up without a single drop of alcohol. He did it, man. He knew how to do it. He had life hacks, did Rodrick. He had really good life hacks. So Rodrick Heffley was kind of the personification of older brother core for me. Also, every time I say older brother core, you have to take a shot, and you're probably already dead if that's the case. But it's that kind of thing. It's looking up to somebody who disobeys and does not follow rules and who has their own style. Isn't it really funny how maybe 20 years ago, if you started your own band in high school, you were like laughed off. Starting your own band 20 years ago might have been like trying to get TikTok famous today, or 5 years ago at this point. Who cares? But that just shows how watered down creativity has become. Because starting your band is not easy. There's a big barrier of entry there, like instruments and time and ambition. You have to be ambitious to actually go out of your way to write a song. And now it's just, I posted a video of me twerking, or it's, I posted a video of me trying to sell the Coors Light corduroy snapback. And I did a better job than all my other fellow, pyramid schemers out there did. Mine got 100,000 likes and 10 purchases. I think it's going to take off. So, but yeah, I mean, creativity has been watered down in terms of older brother core. And I think another big aspect of older brother core is just, the longing for the early 2000s. This is another nostalgia trend. Because you can be Rodrick Heffley right now. You can be the older brother you wish you always had. You can be that person. Some people are trying, some people are succeeding, some people just like to like the video, add it to their favorites, and move on. So, there's a big barrier of entry for starting a band. There's not a big barrier of entry for being Rodrick Heffley. You can go to Walmart, get a pair of Wrangler 32 by 32 straights, a black belt, some nail polish, and a pair of Chuck Taylors, and you're like 80% of the way there. The only other things you might need are some hair gel and a rebellious attitude. And those you can just make up. Older brother core is a longing for the early 2000s, I think. It's a longing for the early 2000s disguised in Gen Z jargon. Not alternative jargon. Gen Z jargon, but this is what always happens, like I explained, in the intro. But I also think that older brother core it's just a longing for being a loser from 20 years ago. Because as much as we love to romanticize Rodrick Heffley, that's a movie. Rodrick Heffley would have been probably a loser in real life at school. Look, his loaded diaper performance at the talent show is iconic to us, but to his classmates, he was probably ridiculed. Rodrick Heffley was not a jock. He did not have that much real power at school. Rodrick Heffley probably never heard the end of that exploded diaper EP debut at the talent show. That's probably what he's still known for today. He's not known for his bad manners. He's not known for helping his brother cheat. He's known for exploded diaper debut. They're not saying Rodrick rules. They're saying Rodrick drools. I heard they even started a rumor that Rodrick had the cheese touch. I mean, how ridiculous is that? How utterly ridiculous is that rumor? The cheese touch was barely in Rodrick's era. Just lost my stim toy. The cheese touch is not his thing. I don't think he ever even mentioned it. Greg never went to Rodrick about the cheese touch. No. But yeah, he was probably a loser. People love to romanticize being a loser from the past, and I'm guilty of this too. I look back on people that made really crazy works of art in the past who probably didn't shower for a week. They committed their whole life to their craft. If you tried to speak to them back when they were alive, they probably would just throw a paintbrush at you and mumble something. And now those people are looked back on in infamy. Not infamy. Infamy is a negative term. They were looked back on as iconic, as legends. And, maybe Devin Bostic, a.k.a. Rodrick, will do the same. But as for now, not really. But the whole claiming the aesthetic of losers is very popular. And you know what? I think that us, Gen Z, we're cool for that. Because that takes kind of a deeper understanding of things to want to get into. If you look back at history, even recent history, and you're like, I like his black Chuck Taylors. And he did not just put eyeliner on for his concert. Mr. Heffley's gonna kill him. You have to look at those things and be like, actually it was cool that Rodrick was doing his own thing. He really didn't care. Rodrick was doing his own thing. And you know what? Maybe I'll buy the high top black Chucks. Maybe I'll do it. I'm gonna commit to the bit. The black top high Chucks are mine. The black high top Chucks are mine. I can't even talk. I'm too deep down the Diary of a Wimpy Kid rabbit hole. But yeah, if you only try to look like people who are cool, then you might be a loser. You might be the loser. It's all about being yourself, and maybe you look at Rodrick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid and you go, dude, he is just, I want to be like him. And you know what? I'm guilty of this. It's all like, look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing Converse, dude. Do you think I added these to the cart without thinking about Rodrick? You're wrong. You're wrong. Wrong. You're very wrong. Of course, I had to Google Devin Bostic's height before I bought them and compare his height to mine. And no, I'm just kidding, but you get what I'm saying. Everything Gen Z does and buys and expresses themselves with probably has a root in some type of media now. It probably does. It's like every time a new hit movie comes out and you see everyone, men and women included on this, they hop on Twitter, they hop on TikTok. I remember when the Batman came out with Robert Pattinson, that was like the biggest one I can remember, is like, I walked out of the theater and I was suddenly him. I stuck my key in my driver's side door and it started to rain a little. Sometimes when I get home, I have to remember to dry myself off. Like, it was that type of thing. And like I said, that's kind of everyone. Everyone is inspired by that. And I don't think that's a Gen Z thing. I think it's always been that way, but I think we're just so connected that it's never been at that level before. And I made an episode I think last summer at this point. I forget which one it even was, but I said some of my favorite people, even if I don't get along with them in person or know them that well in person, but some of my favorite people are the ones you can't put in a box, because everyone's kind of in a box now. A lot of people are. You can look at a guy and go, oh, that guy probably listened to a few minutes of a Morgan Wallen song, and that's his whole thing now. Oh, that girl went to the Eras tour and has nothing more to talk about. Oh, that guy saw the Batman, and now everything he does, he has to be Bruce Wayne. And I like people that mix and match all different types of traits. That's the coolest thing to me. Because if I can put you in a box, if it fits, it ships on one low flat rate. Keep that in mind. And I'm not trying to ship you. I'm not trying to ship anybody. I'm not a human trafficker, but I just think it's cool when you aren't just completely subscribed to one thing. Okay? So, that's my thing on that. But one other point I wanted to hit on another time. Earlier I said older brother core to me is looking like a school shooter but never actually doing it. And that is so true. I think you can sum up older brother core by listening to the song Teenage Dirtbag. It's an early 2000s rock song about being a loser, and it's a really good song. That is just older brother core personified into a song. If I had to pick one song to represent older brother core, it would be Teenage Dirtbag. 100%. I mean, what else are you going to put in there? You tell me. Okay. But, yeah. Do you have an older brother? I don't have an older brother. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, what if I had a Rodrick? But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because now I just get to choose to be Rodrick and go into that box. Just kidding, but you get what I'm saying. This might be the shortest episode of all time, but I just wanted to talk about that. And this one won't even be a bite-sized podcast. This is a nibble. So I hope you enjoyed the nibble. If you're still hungry, go watch the backlog. I have 61 prior episodes, but thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching, and have a great time, whatever you do, and stay out of the box. Goodbye.